glasses. He said it would make me look smartier. Bernie Sanders. Bernie. President Bernie. You know, I feel weird using words like values and morals because those are words that have been co-opted by people who wear them as shrouds to justify terrible things. I'd like to take those words back tonight to describe Bernie Sanders. Sense of values inspires me. He always seems to be on the right side of history, and it takes a very brave and very empathetic and very visionary person to do that. Not only was Bernie fighting for civil rights, he was also fighting for gay marriage in the 80s. He was against the Iraq War, against deregulation of Wall Street that led to the 2000. And most importantly, against the breakup of Destiny's Child. I may have made that last one up. Where other candidates are getting gigantic sums of money from billionaires in exchange for compromising favors, Bernie is not for sale. Where the Koch brothers have been pouring hundreds of... Is it Koch or Koch? I think it's either way, like Goldstein. They both work. Where the Koch brothers have been pouring hundreds of millions into Republican candidates. For instance, they just gave Ted Cruz $15 million. Raised $15 million from 250,000 human people making donations. Not from Goldman Sachs, not from Monsanto. He is a man of the people. He has to be. His name is Bernie. And he's a man for the people. He has to be. He's from Vermont. You know, I have a friend named Tall John. He's very tall. It's a non-ironic nickname. And I always go to him when I'm not sure what the right thing to do is, because he has that kind of compass. And I see that in Bernie. He seems to care solely about what is right, what is best for people. And people are what America is made out of, so it works great. He says what he means, and he means what he says, and he is not for sale. You can't buy him, and I just think that is so neat. The next president of the United States.
let me thank Simone, Joe, Maria, Dante, Kristen, and Sarah for those wonderful words of welcome. We began this campaign about 3.5 months ago. And the momentum, as you can see tonight, has been extraordinary. All over the country, we have had fantastic turnouts in my hometown of Burlington, Vermont, in Minneapolis, in Denver, in Madison, Wisconsin, in Dallas, in Houston, in Portland, Maine, New Orleans, in Seattle, in Portland, Oregon, and tonight, with the overflow crowd, we have more than 27,000. This is a campaign on the move, and together, this is a campaign that's going to end in victory. This campaign is not a billionaire-funded campaign. It is a people campaign. We don't take money from billionaires. We don't take money from corporations. And yet we have received more individual contributions than any other campaign. Yes, we don't have the money, but when people stand together, there is nothing we can't accomplish. What this campaign is about is bringing people together. Black and white, straight and gay, men and women, native born and immigrant. When we stand together, when we do not allow our opponents to break us up and divide us, when we stand united, we can create a new America. Let me begin by reiterating a point that Simone and others have made, and that is there is no precedent, none, 1 year after the death of Michael Brown, no president who will fight harder to end institutional racism than our own. No president who will push harder for fundamental changes in our criminal justice system. We do do not want to be the country on earth that has more people in jail than any other country. We want to be the country which has the best educated population, and where our kids, where our young people are in school or at work, not in jail. You know, sometimes the media asked me, a couple of months ago, they were saying, well, Bernie Sanders, he's a kind of a fringe guy. Who believes that, when Bernie talks about taking on the billionaire class, nobody believes that's possible. But all over America, people are saying loudly and clearly that this country belongs to all of us and not a handful of people. And this campaign is different, not just because of the vision that we have, but because of the kind of campaign we are running. Let me be very straightforward with you. No president, not Bernie Sanders or anybody else, can take on the Koch brothers, can take on corporate America, can take on the corporate media all by himself. We need a grassroots political revolution. And what this revolution is about is not just electing Bernie Sanders as president. What this political revolution is about is transforming the United States of America. And to do that, I need your help, not just during the campaign. I will need your help the day after the election as well. Now, the reason why we are doing well in this campaign is because we are telling the truth. Talking to the reality of American life today. We are talking about a reality in which almost all of the wealth and income in this country is going to the top 1%. We are talking about the United States having more income and wealth inequality than any other major country on earth, and we are going to change that. We are talking about over half of all new income generated today going to the top 1%, and we're going to change that. income and wealth inequality in its broadest sense is the great moral issue of our time, the great economic issue of our time, the great political issue of our time, and we together are going to address it. There is something profoundly wrong when the top 1/10 of 1% owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. There is something profoundly wrong when in recent years we have seen a proliferation of millionaires and billionaires, and yet today we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth. There is something profoundly wrong when one family, the owners of Walmart, own more wealth than the bottom 40% of the American people. There is something profoundly wrong when in the last 2 years, the 14 wealthiest people in America saw their wealth increase by $156 billion, more wealth than is owned by the bottom 130 million Americans. This is an economy which is rigged, which is designed to benefit the people on top. Together, we are going to create an economy that works for all people, not just a handful of people. We have a message to the billionaire class, and that message is you can't have it all. Get huge tax breaks when children in our country are going hungry. You cannot continue to shut down factories in America and send our jobs abroad when millions of Americans need jobs here. Continue to hide billions in profits in the Cayman Islands and other tax havens. Corporate America and the billionaire class aren't going to start paying their fair share of taxes. Not just income and wealth inequality. It is the tragic reality that for the last 40 years, the great middle class, once the envy of the entire world, has been disappearing. Despite exploding technology and increased worker productivity, median family income today is almost $5,000 less than it was in 1999. In my state of Vermont and here in California, it is not unusual for people to be working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, just to cobble together some income and some health care. That is not the economy we need. will not accept people working 40 or 50 hours a week and then having to go to the emergency food shelf in order to get food to feed their families. We will not accept a mom and dad going to work at low wages, not able to find decent quality childcare for their kids. We will not accept people not being able to go to the doctor because they have no health insurance or they have a high deductible. When we talk about the economy, it is important for us to understand what real unemployment is in America, and it's not what you may think it is. Every month, the government publishes a statistic called the official unemployment rate, which is now about 5.3%. But what that study does not include are people who have given up looking for work and the millions of people who are working part-time when they want to work full-time. And when you add that together, it turns out that real unemployment in America is about 10.5%. That means there are millions of people living in desperation, wanting to work, who cannot work. And let me tell you something that is hardly ever discussed. One of the kind of fun things about running for president is you can wring issues out from under the rug and demand discussion. And let me tell you, candidates may not talk about it, the media may not report on it. But let me tell you about an American tragedy today, and that is the unacceptably high rate of youth unemployment. Youth unemployment. A couple of months ago, I asked the Economic Policy Institute to take a look at what real youth unemployment is. That means people who have no jobs, looking for jobs, or working part-time. And they looked at high school graduates between the ages of 17 and 20. And this is what they found. If those kids were white, real unemployment was 33%. If the kids were Hispanic, real unemployment, 36%. If the kids were African American, real unemployment, 51%. This is an issue that cannot continue to be ignored. And if you think that high unemployment rates for kids is not connected to the fact that we have more people in jail than any other country, you would be sorely mistaken. It seems to me to make a lot more sense to be investing in education and jobs than incarceration and jail. And when we talk about the economy, it is important for us all to know that millions of Americans are working at totally inadequate wages. The current federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage. And let me congratulate Los Angeles for raising the minimum wage over a period of a few years to $15 an hour. And what Los Angeles did, what Seattle did, what other communities are doing is exactly what we have got to do at the national level. It is not a radical idea to suggest that if somebody works 40 hours a week, that person should not be living in poverty. And when we talk about fair wages, I would hope that every man in this audience will stand with women demanding pay equity. Reason why women should be making 78 cents on the dollar compared to men. We got to fight for pay equity for women. Many of you have heard my Republican colleagues talk about family values. You hear that? Our Republican friends just love families. But you know, and I know, what they mean by family values. What they mean is that women in America should not be able to control their own bodies on a different way. What Republicans mean when they talk about family values is that women should not be able to purchase the contraceptives they want. I disagree. And when Republicans talk about family values, what they are saying to our gay brothers and sisters that they should not be able to get married or enjoy all of the benefits of American citizenship. I disagree. But let's forget the Republicans now and forever. And let's talk about our family values. I have 4 beautiful kids, 7 beautiful grandchildren, and my wife Jane and I have been married for 27 years. I believe, Jane believes, and you believe in family values, but our values are a little bit different than Republican family values. And when I talk about family values, I believe that the United States must end the international embarrassment of being the only major country on earth, the only one, which does not guarantee workers paid medical and family leave. So when we talk about family values, let us understand that today in LA, today in my state of Vermont, a woman gave birth. And that is obviously an enormous day for that woman, for the father, for the family, and a pretty big day for the baby as well. But here's the point. If that woman and her family have sufficient income, that mom and that dad can stay home and love that baby, get to know that baby, bond with that baby, and all of you who are parents know what an extraordinary moment that is in our lives. And if that mom and family have income, she can stay home with that baby for weeks and months, as she should be able to do.
I got 10% battery left, folks.
There are moms
I'm gonna keep it going till it's dead.
who just gave birth today in LA, who just gave birth today in my state of Vermont, who don't have a lot of money. And those moms, because they lack money, will be forced to go back to work in 1 week or 2 weeks. They will be separated. They will be separated from their babies in the most important moments of that baby's life and the mom's life. That is not a family value. I will fight to have the United States join virtually every country on earth and guarantee at least 12 weeks of paid family leave. And we also have to end the disgrace of seeing a situation where a kid is sick, but mom can't stay home because she doesn't have any paid sick leave. That's got to end. And at a time when, as a result of the collapse of the American middle class, our people are working the longest hours of any people in a major country on earth. 85% of male workers are working more than 40 hours a week. 65% of women workers working more than 40 hours a week. 100 years ago, workers marched through the streets demanding a 40-hour work week. We haven't reached it yet.
Just load the screen down and turn the Wi-Fi off. I'm doing the best I can.
And to my mind, every worker in this country deserves at least 2 weeks paid vacation.
Fuck yes.
When we talk about the the economy, whenever pollsters go out and they call you up and they say, well, what is the issue uppermost on your mind?
Thank you.
And invariably, what people say is the issue of jobs. People understand that if you're 55 years of age today, you may go to work tomorrow, and your employer may say, well, I'm really sorry we have to let you go, but we're hiring somebody half your age and half your pay. And if you are young, a high school graduate, college graduate, you know to find a job commensurate with your education. So when real youth unemployment is over 40%, when general national unemployment is over 10%, we need a massive federal jobs program to put our people back to work. And the fastest and most effective way to do that is to take a look at our crumbling infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our water systems, our wastewater plants, our rail, our airports. And when we rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, we can create, with a $1 trillion investment, 13 million good-paying jobs. But when we talk about jobs, it is not just creating new jobs, it is making sure we do not continue to lose jobs. Since 2001, we have lost almost 60,000 factories in America, millions of good-paying jobs. And the major reason for that is a disastrous trade policy which has allowed corporate America to shut down here and move our jobs abroad. We need a trade policy which creates good-paying jobs here, protects poor people abroad, not just making billions for CEOs. And I will continue to help lead the fight against the TPP. When we use words like greed, dishonesty, arrogance, recklessness, these are just some of the words to describe Wall Street. As a result of the greed and recklessness and illegal behavior on Wall Street, this country was plunged into the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. Millions of people lost their jobs, lost their homes, lost their life savings. I find it interesting that a kid who smokes marijuana can get an arrest record, but the CEOs who help destroy the economy get away with it. The taxpayers, the middle class of this country bailed out Wall Street because those banks were too big to fail. And yet today, most of those banks are bigger than they were when we bailed them out because they were too big to fail. We need a financial system which provides affordable loans to small and medium-sized businesses to help us create jobs. We don't need a financial system which is an island unto itself designed only to make huge profits for a handful of people. In my view, not only do we have to reestablish Glass-Steagall legislation, but more importantly, we have to understand that if a bank is too big to fail, it is too big to exist. We got to break it up. Brothers and sisters, let me be as blunt as I can in telling you that as a result of the disastrous Supreme Court decision in the Citizens United case, the American political system has been totally corrupted, and the foundations of American democracy are being undermined. By a 5-4 Supreme Court decision, what the Supreme Court said to the wealthiest people in this country, they said, guys, you already own much of the economy.